Hey folks, this is David here with rocksfast.com, and I'm shooting this quick video here to kind of go over how to hide or how to cover a septic riser. Alright, this is a question we get all the time. We get this question a lot it's mostly from homeowners who live out in the country where they have a septic system, a septic field, and the majority of those part of the system is the septic tank riser. And basically, what it is, it's a big, round, ugly. They're either concrete or the newer ones. A lot of the newer ones are plastic, and they stick out of the ground anywhere from an inch or two all the way up to 2 feet or so. And these things, I mean, they're big. They can be 3 feet across easy, and they always seem to be in the least desirable place. They're right out in the front yard, or they're out in the back, right where your landscaping area is. They're just a big pain in the rear, basically, and people don't like looking at them, so they want to cover them. They want to hide them. But it's kind of a problem because you can't really go nutso around them and plant a bunch of bushes or whatever, because you're going to have to get the tank pumped, or if something breaks down, you're going to have to get it repaired, and then the technicians are gonna come there, and if it's in the winter or something, or spring and it's all muddy, they're not going to be tiptoeing through your tulips there. They're just going to plow through, and they need to get at that tank, so they make a mess of whatever plantings that you plant around these things. The same thing goes with water wells. But long story short is there's a need for a cover that disguises the tank, helps it blend in with the surroundings, and can also be removed quickly if need be. And that's where these Decora these fake rock covers come in. These are perfect for septic rocks, and they look incredibly realistic, so they actually add curb appeal. It's not just a question of it's hiding your tank. In many cases, it actually enhances the landscape in your yard because these rocks look so real. But just to go over quickly how you go about covering your septic tank, I'm going to use this here. We actually posted this over at WikiHow a couple months ago, and it's still up here, so I'm just going to use this because it's kind of outlines the steps, and it still has some of the photos we took here. But here's a picture of a septic tank. This is an older concrete one. It's about 18 inches high. And what you want to do, first you take a ruler or a measuring tape or whatever, a yardstick, and you want to measure the height. Okay, so you want to measure from the very base, the very bottom, all the way up to the top, and you want to measure exact. You don't want to add an inch or two or whatever to play it safe. That's not going to help you at all. That could just all that could possibly do is have us recommend a rock cover that is bigger than you actually need, which is not a good thing, because that means it's just going to cost more money, and no one likes spending money. So why add measurements and have to buy a bigger rock when you don't have to? All right, because we want to help you save money, not spend it. So just measure exactly, please. All right, and that goes for the height and the diameter, which is the next measurement. You want to measure the diameter, and what that is, the diameter is the diagonal measure across the top. All right, it's not the circumference, which is the measure around the outside, around the exterior. You don't want to monkey with the circumference. We don't care about that. All we care about is the diagonal. And to note here, some of the newer tanks and some of the older ones, but a lot of the newer tanks have what's called a junction box on the side. What that is, it's a kind of a square rectangular, a lot of them are gray. It's a box which can hold switches, electrical components for the pump, whatever. But you want to be sure that you include that in the measurements. Okay, ideally you would measure the diagonal just of the tank, and then also the diagonal measure of the tank, including the junction box. All right, here's a photo of one of these one of these junction boxes. You can see it right here by this lady's knee, that gray box there on the side of the tank. That's a junction box, and you want to make sure that you're including that in your measurements, because it's it's something that needs to be covered by the rock. All right, so you measured the height, you measured the diagonal, okay, and now the diameter, and now you want to pick a rock that's the correct size. Now that sounds like an easy thing to do, but it's pretty amazing how many people mess it up, and that's just because it's easy to mess up, and I can show you why. If you go to rocksfast.com, and one of the first things people do after reading the description is they want to know how big the rock is, so they go to specification, and then they see the exterior dimensions: height 15 inch, length 34 inch, width 32 inch, and they compare those to the measurements they just took, and oh, my septic's only 14 inches high, 32 inches long, and 30 inches wide. Bam, it's less than these exterior measurements, so it's going to fit. They order it, and then it's way too small. It ends up looking like a birthday hat on the septic tank. Why is that? It's because the interior of these rock covers, the interior space is quite a bit less than the exterior. Right? These exterior dimensions, they're measured, like the length and width are measured at the very, very base of the rock. You lose a lot of interior space, the texturing on these rocks. Here, I'll show you a picture here. But this texturing, all this texturing you see on the outside, that's translating, all these divots and whatnot, that's all translating to interior space being gobbled up. All right? So just keep in mind that the interior dimensions are considerably less than the exterior, so just ignore those exterior dimensions if you can. What you want to do is go into the description here, and you can see there's a link to the interior dimension charts right there. If you click that, you'll zip right over to this page, which has the charts for all the different models. You can look it up right here. If your tank's 12 inches high, it can be a max 24 wide by 24 long, or a 28 inch diagonal. Now these charts are kind of confusing because there's different length and width maxes for different heights. That's because as you rotate the rock above the object, you're changing the dimensions of it. It's kind of hard to describe, but long story short is these can be confusing, and if you find them confusing, don't get frustrated. Just go over here, back to where the rock is here, and hit this don't panic. Click here for fast free sizing help, and we will do all the dirty work for you. Alright, this is called the Rockulator. Just punch in your name, your email address, your phone is optional, then the dimensions of the object you want to cover. In this case it's a septic, so you punch in the height and the diameter. Right here you can enter if it has a junction box or not, any additional notes. Submit that. We get this right away, and we respond to it right away as well. All right, we don't putz around and sit on these for days on end. This is something where it comes through instantly, and we answer these instantly. And what we do is we look at your dimensions, and then we look at all the different rock models, and when we formulate the email back to you, we list as many models as possible that'll work for you. Okay, we want to give you as many options as we possibly can for your particular application. One that can help save you money, because you can go with a small, the smallest rock possible. And two, these rocks all look different, and if there's a particular one that you think is going to fit in better with your landscaping or whatever, you can go that route. Okay, and that about does it for how you go about measuring and then choosing a correct rock cover for your septic. Just a quick word on the quality of these. These are made in the USA by a company called Decora, and they're incredibly durable. I mean, these things are made out of thick polymer. It's a thick plastic, and they're molded with a process called Real Rock. It's a patented process, and it's really cool because it molds in all the texturing. There's little flakes of organic material in these to give them, when you look at them up close, they look like real granite. All the colorant is molded in, and it's just all the UV inhibitors as well. That's all molded in. So these aren't sprayed. They're not painted. They're totally maintenance free. You know, you're not going to have to worry about sanding them and scraping them and painting them a year or two down the road. These things are bulletproof. We have them in Wisconsin here where it's, you know, 20 below in the winter and 100 degrees and brutal humid in the summer. We have these outside all year long, and they hold up just fine. I mean, they look as good today as when they did 3 years ago when we had them out by our office here. String trimmers, you know, you can go up full throttle up against one of these and just have a heyday, and it doesn't even phase them. I mean, these things are really tough, and they look incredible. These really do look like real rocks, all right? And again, rocksfast.com. That about sums it up. I've wasted enough of your time. Zip on over to rocksfast.com and check these out. If you have questions or anything, contact us. Give us a call or use the Contact Us form on our website. Have a great day. We hope to see you soon. Thanks a lot.